Hello Land Cruiser gang, I've got some tips for you if you're going to be working on an old car, particularly Toyota Land Cruisers.
I would recommend getting yourself the insert from a toolbox. Old or new, doesn't matter. Because when you're working on the Land Cruiser, rather than losing track of stuff, you can carry everything in this one little tray here. You've got your 12, got your 13, you've got your common bolt sizes in here, you've got your extensions. You won't lose anything because if you just put everything in this area, you'll keep track of everything and you won't have to keep walking back and forward to your toolbox on the other side of the warehouse. Get yourself a strong magnetic tray. This one's got two big magnets in the bottom of it. There we go, two giant magnets there. And that allows me to stick that on the frame while I'm working on the car. So as I take bolts, like my wheel studs, as I take them off the car, take them off, just stick them on here. Then I don't lose them and they're not on the floor getting filthy. You can even put some of your sockets on there, like I've got a 14mm there that I use frequently. This one might seem obvious, but 6 pointed sockets. All too often, you'll see a kit that has 12s or multi-splines. When you're working on something this old, your bolts are going to be rusty, they're going to be rounded. But I would suggest just do everything with a 6 pointed socket. A lot of kits will come with more 12s than they do 6s, but I like to buy everything in a 6 pointed socket and get less slippage when you're working on old rusty bolts. Now this is an expensive one, but an induction heater. So many of these bolts are just rusted solid, and when you crack them, they can shear. Some people will use a blowtorch, but there's a chance of melting rubber or heating elements that you're not actually interested in. If you can get yourself an induction heater, it's expensive. Like this one's about £200 and it's just a cheap copy thing off Amazon. But Big Dave has this one, so I steal his. In seconds, there's a wet bolt. You'll be able to see how hot this gets rapidly. Induction heater on. There you go, so that's dry already. There you go, that's already smoking. So if you can get heat like that into a specific part, the precision that you get by using an induction heater instead of a blowtorch, it just makes it so much easier to remove old stuck bolts like that one. When it's this easy, you can even unseize bolts just as a precautionary measure. Like there's the height sensor that I did on the left-hand side of the car. I'm gonna do the right-hand side height level sensor bolts so that they're unseized for when I eventually have to do the other side. With the induction heater, it's so easy, it would be rude not to. The next thing I'll say might seem obvious, but tools, particularly duplicates of tools. If you buy a set of spanners, you will have a 10mm spanner. But for jobs on the Land Cruiser, you will often need two 10mm to hold one bolt while you rotate the nut on the other side. Same with the 12s. You're going to need two 12s very often. Some of the bigger stuff, you might discover there's a 19 on one side and a 21 on the other. That makes life easier. But once you're into the heavier stuff, you're going to discover that this is often more like working on a truck than it is working on a car. Here's a 1/2-inch breaker bar. Snapped, completely sheared off. I'd love to be able to tell you who made this, but there's no markings left on it. But 1/2-inch breaker bar, completely sheared while trying to undo a bolt. Levers. You're going to need levers to move things like suspension joints that are old and seized and have been stuck in the one place forever. But then you're also going to need another lever so that you can get the bush out of wherever you're levering on. Duplicates of tools. The same goes for sockets. So I've lost count of the number of times where I've run out of impact sockets and I have to use like a 19mm wheel socket or a chrome one for an impact job, because I just don't have duplicates of the key sizes that are on a Toyota. 8, 10, 12, 17, 19. 21 for some of the really heavy suspension components, 22 for the wheels. Duplicate those sizes if you're going to be working on the Land Cruiser. Oh, and make sure the kit that you buy has a 12 and a 14 in before you buy it. For some reason, lots of the kits go from 10, 11 and jump to 13. You're going to use this 12 all the time. So when you do buy a socket set, make sure it comes with a 12. I talk about it being a heavy duty thing, more like a truck. I find in these days I'm having to use ratchet straps to add tension to a lot of my components so that I can get them into place, just to speed up a job that otherwise would have required, you know, like in this case, removing my entire anti-roll bar and the D-links. Just being able to slap a ratchet strap onto something else that's heavy helps me massively. Extension bars is another one. Like, I'm forever having to build contraptions like this. This is so that it can reach inside the suspension behind the frame. And the worst one I've ever done used no less than 9 extensions. And that was when I had a job removing the gearbox. And I had to put all these extensions and wiggly sockets and U-joints to get at bolts at the bell housing right underneath the car. So get yourself some socket extensions, or ratchet extensions, whatever you call those. You're going to need a bunch of them. I was fortunate that my brother-in-law got me that one. It says right there, Dan, Christmas 2022. Thanks, Dan. Another tip I can give you is when you've got a job to do on both sides of the car, start on the side that has the best access and the most light. So this side has lots of light, and this side is on the gloomy side of the warehouse. You can see I've got less light to work with. The first side you work on is going to be slower, especially if you've never done the job before. If I compare to what I did on the back here, doing the rear shock spacers was 3 and a bit hours on this side and an hour on the other side. Because I learned everything on this side, I gathered my tools, I put them in my little tray, and that made it so much faster. So you can make your life easier by starting off where you have the best light and or the best access to the area. This is one for the old cars, particularly Toyotas. Do a bit of research about what nuts and bolts are involved, and then buy them in advance. Nowadays you can go on the internet and you can buy spares so easily. Here's some spare screws for the wheel arch I'm working on, spare clips for the bumper trims, spare plastic inserts that go around the wheel arch because they're gonna shatter, they're 22 years old, spare nuts, spare Allen key heads because they're going to strip. You know, these hex heads, they're gonna strip. Get some spares. These jobs can be 1 bolt or 1 nut away from complete disaster. But if you've got some spares on hand, I mean, it makes your life so much better. Like that's 19 pence. And I've just got a bunch of them so that when I remove bumper trims or clips, I've got spares. If you can, find the part numbers, get some spares. It costs pennies and it will save you hours and a lot of heartache so that when a job does go wrong and you strip a bolt or you ruin a nut, you can just grab one and replace it. Especially when you're working with old plastic pieces. They're just going to break all the time. Grab some spares, you'll thank me. Some of you will have heard this one from me before. You can get yourself a piece of cardboard, and as you're removing things, write on it what you're removing, and then stab the bolt through the hole. And that way, until you learn what bolt is what, you can have a little note board, which you can then carry with you to the vehicle when it comes time to reassemble. That's not a thing for old cars. That'll work for any car, especially if you're unfamiliar with the bolt shapes. And my last tip is grease. This is an old car, you bought it, it's your problem now, so every time you take a bolt off, if you think you're going to be in there ever again, get yourself a high quality grease. This one's lithium moly grease. Get yourself a little brush, and then whenever you're taking off a nut or a bolt, assuming it's not one that's Loctited, if you're going to want to remove that bolt ever again, get a little brush, give the bolt threads a little brush before you put it on. Like this one, it's a fairly terrible example, but I've stuck some grease on it. And a hair, lovely. Give it some grease before you put it on. That bolt is for the bin. Grease your bolts and your nuts when you're reassembling, and you'll thank yourself 3 or 4 years later when you remove it again. Thank you for watching to the end. I hope those tips are useful, not just for a Land Cruiser, but maybe working on any old car. I'm going to head home now for a shower. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe, make good decisions, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.